Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Asking for Help Might Not Be What You Think. Okay, let me explain what happened here. A friend of mine called me yesterday and he was in a very low point and he was telling me, Nick, I really need help. He was a seeker and he's been, in all sorts of different things and whatever you can imagine. And I said to him that asking for help is a very humbling thing. And I'm very grateful that he feels that he really needs help. He's asking for help. We all need help in a sense. What happens is that there's two kinds of help. There's what I refer to as corrective help, and then what I refer to as distractive help. I hope the word distractive exists. See? So distractive help is not necessarily help, even though it appears that way. So here's what I mean by that. When we get to a point when life is no longer fulfilling, which is usually what leads people to some kind of a search, is because we're still holding on to a false sense of identity. And seeking for help is a complete surrender. That's the humility I was talking about, so that so that love, if you want to use that word, can do the correction. And the correction is to know who I am, you see. So when I finally surrender to what is, I can experience the peace that passes all understanding, because the concepts of who I am, of what life is, everything starts crumbling down, and then I can rest in what is, which is our ever-present life experience. This is what we are. We are that which words cannot describe. So corrective help is very simple. It's the willingness to know that I don't know. And that's how finally I can experience that peace that passes all understanding, that can never be found through the acquisition of things or through the pursuit of things. Okay? Now, distractive help, which is not necessarily help, but I'll address that at the end of the video, is when I'm trying to fix the character. When I'm trying to find out how to become a better or a different version of this person. But the problem is that even if I seem to create a better version of the person, I am still believing I am a person. And that belief is the cause of all suffering and all fear. The belief that I'm a separate entity. You see? So at the beginning, the tendency is to try to fix the person so that I can feel better, so that I can become something greater within the limitations of the human experience. But in the end, that is never going to be enough, because once I get what I think is going to make me happy, then the mind creates a new set of rules, which is now we have to chase something else, because that which doesn't make me happy is not enough, so I need something more. And it's always chasing something different, something better, supposedly. Trying to make a better version of myself, as if I am broken, when in reality you are already perfect, whole and complete, just as you are. Just as you are as beingness, not as a person. You see? So these videos are pointing to a correction that is not done by the person, is really the recognition of what I am. And that, technically speaking, does not need correction. And this is the help that I refer to when I'm talking about corrective help. Now, if you want to become a different version of yourself because the one that you are or you feel you are is not enough or is not good enough, then you will continue to seek help to make you a different version of the person, but the sense of fulfillment will not be there. The sense of lack will remain, because you're still limiting yourself to the belief that you're a separate entity. You see? So that's why there's a difference between what I said, corrective help, and distractive help. So one is actually real help, the other one appears to be help. Now, having said that, let me make something clear here because I don't want to be misunderstood. Okay? We're pointing to the truth of what you are, which is what is, life is. And this is direct experience. This is not something esoteric. This is not something that you have to chase so in the future you'll have. We always make the little, we prove it to ourselves in the videos, and this is not going to be an exception, but this is what I want to say. When we are identified, when someone is strongly identified with the sense of identity, well, sometimes, or even in most of the time, part of the search, part of the help, put it this way, to eventually lead them to be ready for the corrective help has to be the destructive help. What I mean by that is that sometimes an individual may need to raise his or her self-esteem in order to finally be able to let go of it. It's like somebody once said, sometimes you need to have a lot of money to see that money is not what can make you happy. So in that case, the help that may seem to be destructive is necessary as a step so that the person can have the direct experience that what it was seeking is not enough, so then it is ready to drop it all, to fully let go, completely surrender, and then can have access to that peace that passes all understanding. So I am not here judging nor condemning any kind of help. I'm simply pointing to the possibility that what may think as help may not necessarily is the help that is going to lead to liberation. It will continue to lead to imprisonment, but eventually the prison is going to lead us to finally wanting to release ourselves from it. So in a way, even those distractions are part of the journey. They're perfectly orchestrated by life itself in order to eventually be ready to let go of them. So if trying to make a better version of yourself is what makes you happy, I want you to be happy and I want you to be at peace. So go for it. I am not here to tell you what to do or not to do. But if for some reason you've been searching your whole life and you had all the things you thought was going to make you happy, and there's still a sense of lack of limitation, and you think that you're ready now to take the leap, then well, these videos are for those who are really ready to start making that leap. That's it. These videos are not suggesting that I am better than anyone or there are better videos than any other ones. Every single expression of the divine is perfect and it meets you where you need to be. But if you want a better version of yourself as a person, then these videos are not necessarily the ones for you. Okay? So whatever you're doing, I am happy for you. As long as it makes you happy and you feel that you're happy and at peace, wonderful. But if for some reason you feel you're not, and you feel that there's something missing and there's something you have to look for, and you wonder, if there's a way of experiencing the peace and the happiness that you are, well, let's do the test here so you can see that this is not esoteric, this is very practical. Okay? Right now, what I'm asking you is to simply be, because you are, you can never not be, that's life itself, but because there's an identification with a thought that says I'm an individual, other thoughts that are superimposed on it, which are I am good, I'm bad, pretty, ugly, fat, skinny, competent, not competent, worthy, unworthy. These are all thoughts. Have you noticed that? These are not facts, these are thoughts. Because even you may say, no, I am unworthy because I feel this way. No, that is a thought that you're imposing upon a feeling, and the feeling is just a movement of energy. But you take, first of all, the thought that says I'm a person, you see, that's the first thought, and then you see a feeling that comes up, and now you say, this is my feeling, and then the mind, which is another thought, goes ahead and interpret that feeling, and that's how you come up with the story, I am an unworthy person. But if you let go of all thought and you simply be, then the feeling is just a movement in energy that passes by. You, which is what you are in essence, remains unperturbed, untouched, and you are at peace. That's the peace that passes all understanding. So let's go back again here. It doesn't matter what seems to be your life situation or whatever the case may be, which is not your life situation, it's just simply what is, but thoughts are making it something that it is not. So let's go back again. Right now, I want you to simply be right this moment. You don't need to close your eyes if you don't want to, because this is just simply life itself, so right now, just be, okay? Whatever thoughts are crossing your mind, don't identify with them. Let them be there. They will be there anyway. It doesn't matter. You don't think them. You don't control them. They just simply appear. And if you don't give them any power, they will also disappear. They disappear in that which they seem to have appeared. So anyhow, and you are that, by the way. So anyway, so just be, just for a moment. Just be. I just want you to be, okay? Again, you're being anyway, but it's just the limitation of language. You see? This is what is referred to as direct experience. It's not you who's having the experience, okay? Just be conscious of this. But for now, let's see. Right now, you cannot negate experience. This is direct experience. If you do not let the thought, whatever the thought, colors it, you see? If you don't let the thought describe or trying to interpret or translate or judge the present experience, then you are experiencing the peace, the happiness, the love that you are. Love is the absence of fear. Peace, happiness is the absence of judgment. So you see, you're experiencing life. This is life. Now, life may have all different textures. The movement have all different textures. Sometimes there's feelings, strong feelings. Sometimes there's a lot of thinking, But if you allow them to just be, as the sky allows the clouds to just be as dark as they want or as light as they want, it doesn't affect the sky, you see. If you simply allow life to be, which is not something you do, you don't have the power to allow because you're not the doer. However, within the context where it appears as if you can have that choice, as you allow life to be, you notice that you rest in a peace, which is referred to as the peace that passes all understanding, that is more coherent with what you truly are. That need no fixing. When you surrender to that, that is the help that we are inviting you, you see, to seek, or I should say to surrender to. That's what I refer to as corrective help, because now, paradoxically, you don't need to do anything. See, the correction, it already happens by the fact that you are. And you don't, because there's no identification with the character, you simply see that you're not the character, that you simply are. You see, and you remain as what is. And life is. That's what it is said. Love is. God is. Life is. I am. Not God is this or that. That is the mind, you see. Not life is this or that. That is the mind. That is thought. Not that I am this or that. That is thought, you see. But you are. And this is what is happening right now. This is direct experience, you see. Do you need to do anything to just be? Do you have to do something so in the future you can just be? No, you're being right now. And that's it. And now the key word on this is trust. Because the mind comes up with all kinds of thoughts. First the thought, I'm an individual, and then, yeah, but what if my life falls apart? But what if I need help and I cannot get it? You see, these are thoughts that are intervening right now in this moment, which is all that there is. And now as you trust that if you need help for something, life will inspire the instrument to do that, to do something about it. If something has to happen, if your life has to fall apart, you even trust that that falling apart is part of the perfection of life, because it's releasing you from attachments and things that are no longer beneficial to you. The question is, can you trust that that's the case? See, can you trust that? If you ask me, for example, when I wake up in the morning, life happens. When the instrument wakes up in the morning, life happens. And whatever has to be done will be done. I don't know what it is, but I see how life moves a character to do what needs to be done. And it appears on the surface as if I am living a regular, normal life. Anybody would look at me and say, oh, he lives a regular, normal life, because they're looking at the surface, but they don't know what's going inside. You see? You see people that may appear to be living a regular, normal life, but their mind is filled with worry, concern. You can feel the tension in their face. Why? Because they're too identified with their thoughts. Because they have overlooked the thought, I'm this person. You see? And because they have overlooked that thought, they think that I'm that person, and they have to survive. They try to somehow find a way to take care of this person and fulfill their needs and everything. But when you know who you are because of the corrective help, you know, now you simply are being, and even though it appears that you're this person, and you go to the supermarket, you go to the bathroom, you take care of it, you eat, you sleep, you do all the things that a person do, you do it with a different mentality, you see? That is what is meant by living in the world with a mind that is not of it. So the invitation in these videos is that surrender, meaning seeking help, is to remember that I know nothing. That's the best help that I can seek, because that reminds me of humility. And the mind cannot sell me another story, you see? So now you simply are. From the moment I wake up in the morning, I'm always asking for help. But it's not that the person is asking for help, it's that I know that I don't know. And to me, that is the greatest help that I could ever seek, and it's within me always. I know that I don't know. And therefore, in this complete surrendering, life happens, but I can be at peace with what is, because I know who I am, which has nothing to do with whatever thoughts the mind is trying to sell me. This is beyond mind. It is what is. It is prior to mind. It is prior to thoughts. It is prior to thinking. It is prior to everything. It simply is. Well, this is the inspiration that came through this instrument. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.